Hello everyone. Today we are going to utilize the equation circumference equals pi times diameter, and we are going to apply that equation when measuring a household item. So for this equation we're going to utilize this plate, and I'm going to flip it over, and the first thing we're going to do, and I'm flipping it over so we have a nice level surface. The first thing I'm going to do is measure its circumference. And it's really difficult to measure a circle because rulers are typically straight. So what I did was I pre-cut this string so that would be the exact circumference around this plate. And I believe we're all the way around the edges, and the two ends of the string meet together. So we have a pretty accurate measurement for circumference of this particular plate. So I'm going to move this plate over and take this pre-cut string, and I'm going to measure it. And I'm going to make sure this is lined up with the beginning of the ruler. And I'm going to stretch it out. As you can see here, it extends to 23 inches and 1/4. So 23 1/4 inches. So we have some information that we can add to our equation. We now can take out that c variable, the circumference variable, and we can take an actual measurement, which is 23 1/4 inches. Now I'm going to represent a quarter with a decimal. So instead of 20, like a mixed number, 23 and 1/4, I'm going to say 23.25. That's the same as 23 1/4. And I'm going to continue on, and we're going to take that mathematical representation of pi, which is 3.14, which has been mathematically proven to equal pi. And pi establishes a relationship with a perfect circle, establishes a relationship between diameter and circumference. So I'm going to bring that down. Now we have to solve for d, which is the diameter of the circle. Now I could just go ahead right now and measure it, but I want to use the formula to tell me what the diameter is. And then I'm going to check to see if the equation is accurate. So because this is multiplication, I have to do the inverse operation. The inverse operation of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide each side. I want to get d by itself, so I'm going to divide each side by pi, or 3.14. So on this side, I'm going to use the calculator to solve. So we have 23.25 divided by 3.14, which equals 7.4. So we have 7.4, approximately, we'll simplify, equals d. And again, if we're going to label it, it's going to be 7.4 inches. 7.4 inches, make sure that decimal is nice and big, equals the diameter. So let's put this in practice. Let's test it out. Let's see how this equation did for us. So I'm going to take the plate again, and we have a nice bold line here to indicate the diameter. It goes through the center of the circle. I have this ruler, and I'm going to go ahead and measure. And if you look here, we are just under 7.5. So we have 7 inches here. Here's 7.5. We're just under 7.5 inches. So 7.5 inches could be represented as 7.5 as a decimal. So we are accurate. The equation did prove, or we did prove that the equation is accurate, rather. That's what I meant to say. And we can utilize pi to, if we have the diameter, to determine the circumference. And then we can also use pi if we have the circumference to determine the diameter.